Welcome to Uncovered Biblical History and Traditions, the channel dedicated to lost stories of the biblical past. Discover stories of pre-Christian historical roots, biblical legends, lost church history and forgotten historical characters of faith. It is very helpful if you hit the like, subscribe and share. Help build my channel and let's take a look together into these uncovered forgotten tales. Imagine a time when the mere whisper of your faith could mean a death sentence. A time when your very existence, and that of your children, was deemed a threat so profound that an empire would dedicate its mightiest armies to wipe you from the face of the earth. This is not a distant, abstract historical footnote. This is the largely forgotten story of early Christian Britain, our tale of unparalleled persecution, relentless resistance, and ultimate triumph that, according to the sources, laid the very foundations of the freedoms we cherish today. Today, many Christians enjoy a life of security and luxury, largely unaware of the immense sacrifices made by their ancient predecessors. Yet, Christianity was once an outlawed faith, relentlessly hunted, with Britain emerging as a focal target of Roman eradication efforts. Shockingly, these attempts to stamp out Christianity in Britain began just 15 years after the crucifixion, a stark reminder of the immediate and intense threat the nascent faith posed to the imperial order. The story begins with a figure shrouded in reverence, Joseph of Arimathea, identified as a nobilis decurio. It was Joseph who, shortly after Christ's death, is said to have brought Christianity to Britain. He arrived on the Isle of Avalon, a place that quickly became far more than just a landing point. Avalon blossomed into a sanctuary and spiritual stronghold for the early Christian movement. From this secluded haven, Christianity rapidly spread, not just across Britain, but across the seas, indicating its surprising reach and burgeoning influence. This rapid expansion did not go unnoticed in Rome. The emperors grew increasingly concerned, viewing the faith's proliferation as a direct threat to their imperial ideology and control. The Roman response was swift and horrifying. In AD 42, Emperor Claudius issued a decree, a chilling mandate to annihilate Christian Britain. This wasn't merely an order to suppress a rebellion, it was a command for total extermination. Claudius ordered the extermination of men, women, and children, a chilling testament to the fear the faith instilled in the heart of the empire. To erase not just the people, but the very memory of their beliefs, Roman forces were explicitly ordered to burn Christian institutions and libraries, systematically incinerating any vestige of Christian thought. To execute this horrifying vision, Rome deployed its largest and most skilled military force, led by elite generals, with a singular, brutal mission: the total eradication of Christianity from the British Isles. The legal consequences under this draconian law were absolute. Merely accepting Christianity, or even the native Druidism, was punishable by death. The forms of execution were varied in their cruelty, ranging from the swift slice of a sword to prolonged torture, or the terrifying spectacle of being devoured by lions in the Colosseum. This pervasive threat extended even to a specific lineage. All descendants of King David, targeting both Christians and Jews, were marked for death. Under such extreme persecution, a strange and paradoxical bond formed between two groups often at odds, Christians and Jews. The sources highlight the bitter irony that both were sentenced to death under Roman law. Despite a history of mutual hatred, they found themselves dying side by side. Orthodox Jews, even in their final moments, reportedly still scorned Christians. Yet, a powerful transformation occurred among converted Jews, who embraced Christians as equals. This stark difference underscored a profound shift. Christianity actively bridged racial divides, offering a universal message of brotherhood, while Orthodox Judaism, by contrast, often maintained an exclusive identity. Rome's perspective on the various peoples under its dominion played a crucial role in its policies. Intriguingly, the sources indicate that the Romans had a prior, almost surprising, respect for the Britons. There were established commercial and educational exchanges, and British nobility were often educated in Roman institutions, suggesting a degree of cultural integration and mutual regard. This stood in stark contrast to Rome's long-standing, ingrained hatred of the Jews. This animosity stemmed from deep cultural and religious alienation. The Jews famously refused to interact with or even touch Romans, a defiance that Rome perceived as insolence and a threat to its authority. Roman criticism extended deeply into Jewish marital practices, which Romans found particularly objectionable. The Roman view on marriage, though seemingly contradictory at times, held divorce in particular disgrace. The sources note that the first recorded Roman divorce occurred an astonishing 520 years after the city's founding, a testament to the initial sanctity of the institution. When Spurius Carvilius Rugo divorced his wife, it caused widespread social ostracism, highlighting the societal disapproval of such an act. Despite the prevalence of consorts and mistresses within Roman society, the Roman wife held a sacred position within the household. This ancient Roman legal framework and societal perspective on marriage, the sources explain, went on to have a profound influence, becoming embedded in the Roman Catholic Church's views on marriage. As persecution intensified, Rome resorted to insidious tactics, the widespread dissemination of propaganda and fabrications. Roman authorities leveled outrageous false claims against Christians and Jews alike, accusing them of human sacrifice. For Jews, specifically, the grotesque accusation was made of Gentile baby eating. Crucially, the sources emphasize that these claims were knowingly fabricated by the Roman elite. Such deceptive tactics are drawn into comparison with modern totalitarian distortions, like those employed by communist regimes, illustrating a timeless method of demonization. The Roman Empire's campaign strategies also differed significantly when confronting Jews versus Britons. Jews were often driven into ghettos and faced sporadic, though often brutal, persecution. However, the campaign against the Britons was markedly different and far more determined. Britain, the sources assert, was a warrior nation, skilled at both land and sea combat, making them a formidable foe. But their resistance was fueled by something more than martial prowess. They were profoundly inspired by the Christian faith and a fierce love of freedom. They were led by brilliant commanders and famously embraced martyrdom, transforming death into a defiant act of faith. Their rallying cry resonated through the ages, "Britons never shall be slaves," a powerful declaration of their unyielding spirit. Remarkably, despite, or perhaps because of, the intense persecution, Britain and Gaul did not falter but instead became vibrant centers of evangelism. They transformed into powerful hubs where apostles and disciples were rigorously trained and then sent abroad to spread the Christian message. This flourishing of faith only intensified Rome's desire to extinguish this Christian stronghold. The sheer zeal emanating from Britain, the sources reveal, drove Rome to an unprecedented military build-up, demonstrating the profound threat they perceived from this fervent Christian nation. The tenacious British resistance was not new. The sources, citing Geoffrey of Monmouth, point to ancient victories that highlight Britain's formidable history. Long before the Roman Empire, British leaders like Belinus and Brennus famously captured Rome itself in 390 BC, a humbling defeat for the nascent Roman state. Later, the Cimbri Celtoi terrorized Rome between 113 and 101 BC, showcasing another period of British Gaulish might. The sources underline that British military actions were often retaliatory, driven by defense, rather than imperialistic ambitions. Yet, the Romans, with their ingrained prejudice, consistently branded all their enemies as barbarians, regardless of their culture or sophistication, reflecting a narrow and self-serving view of the world. The period from AD 42 to 320 was marked by centuries of unimaginable savagery under Roman rule. This era saw continuous war, widespread massacre, rampant rape, and systematic destruction. It was a dark time, enduring 3 centuries of Christian martyrdom specifically within Britain. The sources make a chilling comparison, asserting that the Romans exceeded even the atrocities committed by modern totalitarian regimes like the Nazis, communists, and perpetrators of Japanese war crimes. They were unparalleled in their brutality and, disturbingly, in the invention of new forms of torture. The climax of this horrific persecution came under Emperor Diocletian, whose reign of terror was inspired by the profound hatred of his co-emperor, Maximian. This period saw the tragic massacre of Christian Gaulish legions, a stark example of the empire's relentless war on faith. The sheer scale of Christian martyrdom during this era is almost incomprehensible. Beneath the very city of Rome, a silent testament to this sacrifice lies buried, over 6 million Christians interred in Roman catacombs. These vast catacomb tunnels stretch an astonishing 550 miles, a distance equivalent to traveling from Rome all the way to the Swiss Alps. This subterranean network stands as a powerful testament to the immeasurable sacrifice made by early Christians, a haunting reminder of the price of their faith. As the sources reflect, the ancient Britons had a profound understanding of Christianity's essential role in securing liberty. For modern Christians, this historical sacrifice serves as a vital reminder, urging them to remember the immense cost of their freedom. Indeed, the very roots of democracy and freedom, as we understand them today, are deeply intertwined with the courageous resistance of these ancient Christians. This saga culminates not in defeat, but in a profound and ironic victory. The sources recount how in the year 390 BC, Belinus and Brennus, sons of the most famed British king Dunwall, defeated the forces of Diocletian and Maximian. They then achieved the unimaginable. He entered Rome itself and boldly declared it a Christian nation. This pivotal moment challenges common historical narratives, for the sources explicitly state that it was Constantine, not Peter, who led Rome's conversion to Christianity. And the lineage of this triumphant Emperor Constantine is rooted firmly in Britain. He was the great-grandson of Arviragus, and the son of Helena, a British princess who became a Christian empress. This detail underscores the extraordinary influence Britain had on the very heart of the Roman Empire, effectively turning the tables on its former persecutor. In conclusion, the sources implore us to never forget this remarkable legacy. Christians today are the direct inheritors of the victory and unwavering faith of these ancient martyrs. The Christianization of Rome, the very transformation of the imperial capital, was fundamentally rooted in British courage and sacrifice. If you would like more information where to research this subject, check out my other videos and pause this image and look into these resources. I hope you enjoyed this forgotten biblical story. Leave a like, comment, share and subscribe. This is very helpful. Join me next time for another lost story of our biblical history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.